Behind the scenes in San Francisco, the Golden State Warriors have been working quietly but with almost surgical precision. After years of relying on their old guard, the front office has realized that the time has come to plan for the future, without losing sight of the present. The name Andrew Wiggins resurfaced for a few days when the possibility arose of trading him for Jonathan Kuminga. However, the truth is that the Californian team is thinking on a much larger scale. Internal reports indicate that the current focus lies on another level of ambition, an elite center capable of reshaping both the defense and the attack. A recent NBA insider report revealed that the Warriors are closely monitoring the situation of Bam Adebayo, the Miami Heat star. The interest is not coincidental. Golden State's technical staff see him as the perfect link to make the system more versatile, modern, and impenetrable. According to a league analyst, there is a list of potential stars that the team is following closely, and Adebayo's name appears among the top ones. Giannis Antetokounmpo has always been a distant dream, a long-time desire of the front office. But the current reality suggests that the most viable, and possibly the smartest, negotiation would be for Bam. The question that lingers is, would the Heat's center agree to start a new chapter in his career? So far, there is no indication that he has requested a trade. However, the atmosphere in Miami is beginning to feel heavy. The Heat are in a kind of competitive limbo. They are far from a bad team, but also far from the level of the Eastern Conference's powerhouses. With Tyler Herro injured and Jimmy Butler struggling with inconsistency, the team seems to lack clear direction. And within this context, Adebayo finds himself surrounded by limitations that may be testing his patience. Bam is one of the most complete centers in the NBA, but he is not a natural playmaker. His game depends on structure, on a system, on the right pieces around him to make him shine. Without that, he becomes an isolated giant amid chaos. That is precisely the feeling that seems to dominate the Heat's locker room. Miami is stuck in a cruel limbo. Too good to rebuild, yet not strong enough to truly contend for titles. This middle ground position is the worst place for a franchise to be. The risk is to sink slowly to the bottom of the conference without even realizing it. At 27 and in his physical prime, Adebayo knows his professional clock is ticking. He wants more. He wants to be in an organization that aims to lift trophies, not just reach the playoffs. Despite recently signing a 3-year extension, it is clear that he is watching the situation closely. His numbers remain impressive. Last season, he averaged 18 points and 10 rebounds, shooting 35.7% from three-point range, a mark that represents a significant technical evolution. In the playoffs, he maintained the same level, serving as the defensive pillar and one of the few consistent offensive options. He is an underrated creator, averaging around 4 assists per game, along with 3 All-Star appearances and 5 All-Defensive selections. Since entering the league, Bam has ranked among the best at his position, 4th in points, 2nd in rebounds, and 3rd in assists among centers. His achievements place him in a rare tier of balance between defensive impact and offensive contribution. At Golden State, there is a quiet obsession with finding the ideal partner for Stephen Curry. The team knows it is living through the final elite years of its star, and every move now is calculated to maximize that window. Adebayo would be the perfect fit. He combines strength, agility, and tactical intelligence, 3 virtues that align perfectly with the Warriors' fluid and unpredictable system. His ability to switch on defense, protect the rim, and start fast breaks would make him a nightmare for any opponent. Curry, who thrives off the ball, would gain a partner who understands game reading and execution. Bam is known for his precise screens and for knowing exactly where to be at every second of a play. Within Golden State's constant motion system, he would become a stabilizing presence, a new engine for creation. Furthermore, his defensive presence would allow the Warriors to reclaim the identity that once defined them, a suffocating and coordinated defense capable of turning every steal into a lethal attack. The concept of defense into offense has always been the soul of the franchise, and Adebayo embodies that perfectly. In terms of assets, Golden State is well positioned. Jonathan Kuminga, who will become trade eligible on 15th of January, is the main piece. The young player has been improving but still lacks consistency. For Miami, he would represent the start of a new era. Alongside him, the package would include Moses Moody and Buddy Hield, two names that add depth and experience. The finances are complex, but there is room to maneuver. By 2027, the heaviest contracts, including the veterans, will expire, freeing up cap space. Reports suggest a proposal that would include 2 first-round picks, 2028 and 2032, plus a mid-round swap. From the Heat's perspective, that's a solid return. Kuminga, at 23, has star potential, and those future picks could become valuable in the post-Curry landscape. Miami's management knows that, at some point, they will need to decide between maintaining a mediocre competitiveness or starting from scratch. And if the latter prevails, this package would be a strong starting point. For Golden State, the trade would be transformative. With Adebayo, the team would return to the top of title contention conversations. He would be the defensive anchor and the natural successor to Draymond Green, offering youth, energy, and emotional stability. Over time, he could even become a long-range specialist, following the path of veterans like Brook Lopez who reinvented their careers that way. In the long run, he would serve as the bridge between the golden present and the uncertain future that will come when Curry retires. The deal, though risky, makes sense from every technical angle. The team needs someone who can keep the defense alive and the offense dynamic. Adebayo represents exactly that. Behind the scenes, there is consensus that a move of this magnitude would redefine the franchise's destiny, and the fans, who have seen the team reinvent itself countless times, seem ready for yet another revolution. Meanwhile, other names are being monitored. Malik Monk, Trey Murphy III, Herb Jones, Ayo Dosunmu, Kobe White, and Isaac Okoro are more accessible options, but none of them elevate the team's ceiling the way Adebayo would. The team's general manager has been clear that there is no rush to make a move, but it is hard to imagine the front office staying still when faced with such an opportunity. When 15th of January arrives, the market will heat up, and the Warriors know they must act fast to prevent another team from stealing their perfect target. Internally, the perception is clear. The team wants a new pillar, someone who brings stability and symbolizes the transition between eras. Adebayo is more than a center. He is a philosophy in motion. Seeing Curry and Bam share the court would be the meeting of instinct and discipline, fluid offense and impenetrable defense. It would be the fusion of two winning mindsets shaped by years of excellence. The stage is set, the talks are heating up, and the future may be about to change its address, from the heat of Miami to the cool breeze of the San Francisco Bay. If the agreement between the Warriors and the Heat were to materialize, the on-court implications would be immediate. Golden State's offensive system has always relied on mobility, awareness, and synchrony. Without Adebayo, that mechanism would reach a new dimension. He is a center who understands the game like a point guard. His quick decisions and ability to distribute the ball from the top of the key would open possibilities that few players in his position can offer. Imagine Curry's constant movement slicing through defenses while Adebayo executes the perfect handoff, creating space for a three-point shot. It's the kind of play that turns opponents into spectators. Moreover, Bam can act as a facilitator, drawing double teams and creating mismatches for open shooters, something that would greatly enhance the team's collective efficiency. On the defensive side, his presence would completely redefine the scheme. The Warriors would once again become one of the most feared teams in the league in terms of coverage and versatility. Adebayo can guard forwards, guards, and centers without needing constant help switches. This would free other defenders to focus on interceptions and transitions. The combination of his physical strength with tactical awareness would make possible what Golden State has been trying to recover: the defense that transforms energy into offensive rhythm. When Adebayo intercepts a pass, the fast break is ready to explode. Curry runs to the perimeter, and the game becomes poetry in motion. Every great transformation requires more than tactical adjustments. It demands a new mindset. In recent years, the Warriors have lived with the burden of risky decisions, the natural wear of a veteran roster, and constant pressure for results. Adebayo's arrival would inject vitality and purpose. Bam is known for his work ethic and quiet leadership. He inspires through example, not through words. In a locker room accustomed to egos and trophies, that would be pure gold. His emotional balance would be the ideal antidote for a team that, at times, seemed torn between its past and future. The presence of a new defensive pillar would also free the veterans to focus on what they do best. With Adebayo controlling the paint, the Warriors could once again impose respect and intensity. This would directly affect the group's confidence. Players like Moody and Hield would have room to grow without carrying the full weight of responsibility, while the veterans could focus on efficiency and leadership. Within Golden State's culture, everything revolves around harmony. The team has always believed basketball is a living organism, and each player a vital cell. Adebayo's arrival would strengthen that body, restoring balance to the system. On the other side, the impact on the Heat would be profound. Bam Adebayo is more than a player. He is the symbol of collective effort, defensive identity, and the mentality that has defined Miami since the days of Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra. Losing him would mean giving up the foundation on which the team built its reputation. However, it could also be the perfect opportunity for a complete renewal. The Butler-Adebayo cycle, though competitive, did not deliver championships. And in the NBA, patience has limits. Kuminga would represent the first brick in a new project. Young, athletic, and with potential to become an elite defender, he could develop under Spoelstra's disciplined eye. With draft picks in hand and salary cap space opening up, Miami would have the chance to rebuild calmly, aiming for the future rather than clinging to a worn-out present. It would be an emotionally painful move, but a rational one strategically. League insiders already whisper that the Heat know decision time is approaching. Either they completely restructure their core or risk being stuck for years in a competitive purgatory. A trade with Golden State would be the most pragmatic exit to avoid that fate. No discussion about the Warriors' future makes sense without mentioning Stephen Curry. At 37, the star still plays at an elite level, but the clock keeps ticking. Each season is viewed as another opportunity to immortalize his legacy. That's exactly why management sees urgency in strategic moves. Giving Curry a partner like Adebayo would be a way to honor his greatness and extend his competitive window. The team can no longer rely solely on his talent to win games. It must build a balanced fortress around him, capable of sustaining the moments when the genius needs to breathe. Their chemistry could be instant. Curry thrives with intelligent teammates, and Adebayo understands the game with tactical depth. The fluidity between them would create a hybrid style where pick and roll and handoff blend into continuous, unpredictable motion. The idea of seeing these two talents connected within a collective system is what fuels the fans' imagination. It would be an alliance between creativity and discipline, art and structure. The Warriors have always been more than a team. They are a philosophy. Since Steve Kerr's era began, the squad has transformed the NBA with an approach rooted in selflessness and movement. The addition of Adebayo would mark a new stage of that ideology, the evolution of collective intelligence. If in 2015 the revolution began with the three-point shot, now the new chapter would be about mastering defensive versatility and tactical control. Adebayo would be the emblem of that transition, a player who fuses body and mind, strength and game sense. Inside the franchise, there's a clear understanding that the future must be built before the present fades. Recent NBA history is full of examples of teams that waited too long to reinvent themselves. Golden State doesn't want to repeat that mistake. Over time, this potential trade would be remembered not merely as a market transaction, but as the move that reshaped the team's DNA. If the deal does go through, the balance of the NBA would shift immediately. The Warriors would once again become direct title contenders with a renewed and competitive core. The West, already unpredictable, would gain a new powerhouse with a solid defensive foundation and a lethal attack. The entire league knows the impact a Curry-Adebayo union would bring. Teams like Denver, Dallas, and Minnesota would have to rethink their game plans. No one wants to face a defense anchored by Bam and an offense led by Curry. It's a combination that threatens every system. American media already speculate that the move could redefine the hierarchy of modern basketball. The Warriors, whom many considered in decline, would return to the spotlight. Everything revolves around 15 January. When Kuminga's trade restriction lifts, Miami's phone is expected to ring. Golden State's interest is real, and both sides are willing to explore options. Executives on both ends know major deals demand patience and courage. The challenge lies in balancing present and future, risk and reward. What's at stake goes beyond contracts and statistics. It's about legacies, about how these franchises will be remembered a decade from now. For Miami, it's the chance to rebuild around tomorrow. For Golden State, it's the final gambit to prolong a dynasty that defined an era. The NBA is built on moments like this. Silent, decisive, filled with tension and anticipation. The clock is ticking, and as rumors grow louder, a new era may be about to begin. The NBA landscape is constantly changing, and recent rumors suggest that the Golden State Warriors might be about to make a surprising move in the market. The name circulating behind the scenes is that of Sotto, the talented Filipino center who has been gaining attention for his versatile game and enormous potential. If this move actually happens, it could mean not only a technical boost for the Warriors, but also a massive cultural impact for the franchise and for the NBA as a whole. The potential arrival of Sotto to the Golden State Warriors carries a special weight. The team is known for its ability to develop talent and its modern game philosophy based on ball movement and floor spacing. With his impressive height of 7.2 and a skill set that goes beyond the conventional for centers, could fit perfectly into this system. But what really stands out is not just the technical aspect, but the story this signing could tell. Sotto is more than just a promising young talent. He represents an entire country passionate about basketball. The Philippines is known for its intense basketball culture, and Kai's rise to the global stage symbolizes the dream of many young athletes from the country. His journey is marked by challenges and achievements, from his early departure from the Philippines in search of international opportunities to his performance in competitive leagues like Australia's NBL and Japan's B-League. Sotto's journey through professional basketball hasn't been simple. He had to give up the comfort of home to seek growth in foreign leagues, facing physical and tactical challenges that helped shape him as a player. In Australia, he proved that he could compete against high-level athletes, showing defensive potential and good game awareness. In Japan, he further refined his skills, developing a reliable mid-range shot and proving he could be more than just a traditional rim protector. The question many Warriors fans are asking is, how would Sotto fit into the team? The Warriors have a recent history of struggling to find a dominant presence in the paint. With a playing style focused on shooting and fast transitions, the team often lacks a center who can provide both rim protection and offensive impact near the basket. Sotto could be exactly the missing piece. His defensive game is one of the main attractions. With an impressive wingspan, he has the ability to block shots and contest finishes in the paint, something essential for any team looking for defensive solidity. Additionally, his presence on the boards could help the Warriors improve one of their weak points, securing second-chance opportunities on offense and limiting opponents to just one possession per play. But Sotto is not just a defensive player. Unlike many traditional centers, he has an interesting mobility for someone his size. His ability to move well without the ball and finish near the basket could add a new element to the Warriors' offense. And more than that, his mid-range shooting ability could create more spacing, allowing the team's stars more freedom to attack. Beyond the on-court impact, Sotto's potential arrival at the Golden State Warriors would have enormous relevance off it. The NBA has been increasingly investing in its global expansion, and signing a standout Filipino player would be a strategic step to gain even more fans in Asia. The Bay Area, home to the Warriors, has one of the largest Filipino communities in the United States, which would make the connection between the team and this fan base even stronger. The rise of international players in the NBA is a growing trend. In recent years, we've seen athletes from different parts of the world becoming stars in the league, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Nikola Jokic, and Luka Doncic are just a few examples of how basketball has truly become global. Kai Sotto could be the next to follow this path, and the Warriors have the perfect environment to help him develop his full potential. If this move actually happens, it won't just be about basketball. It will be a story of representation, of a young man carrying the hopes of an entire country and potentially opening doors for future generations of Filipino players. The impact of his presence on the Warriors would go far beyond the court, influencing fans, sponsors, and even the way the NBA expands into new markets. Kai Sotto's arrival to the Warriors could also represent a shift in how the team builds its roster for the future. With an experienced and consolidated core, the franchise needs to think about renewal and how to maintain its success in the years to come. Betting on a young talent like Kai could be a strategic move for both the present and the future. Now, it remains to be seen whether the Warriors will actually make this signing happen. Speculation indicates there is interest, but there are still many factors to consider. Is the team willing to take a chance on a young talent who still needs to prove himself in the NBA? And is Kai Sotto ready to make that leap and face the challenges of the world's most competitive league? What's certain is that if this signing happens, it will be a landmark moment for the NBA and for Filipino basketball. Kai Sotto has the opportunity to make history and show that players from any part of the world can dream big and reach the biggest stages of the sport. And if there's a team that knows how to turn talents into stars, it's the Golden State Warriors. And you, fan, what do you think of this possibility? Do you believe Kai Sotto could be the missing piece for the Warriors? So that's it, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel to stay updated on everything about the Warriors. See you next time.